Ever wondered about the history of that country that's part Europe, part Asia, and all awesome? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're taking a whirlwind tour through the epic story of Turkey, from ancient empires to the modern republic. So grab some baklava, and let's get started. Our story begins long before anyone in this region was called a Turk. Anatolia, the land we now call Turkey, was like the ancient world's most popular party spot. Everybody wanted a piece of it. First up, we had the Hittites, who were basically the Iron Men of their day. They were one of the first to use iron weapons, which made them pretty tough to argue with. They also signed the world's first ever peace treaty. After them, a whole parade of civilizations marched through. The Phrygians gave us King Midas, who had the unfortunate talent of turning everything he touched into gold. Imagine trying to eat a sandwich. Then came the Lydians, who actually invented coins. Yes, you can thank them for that jingle in your pocket. And let's not forget the Greeks, who built stunning cities like Ephesus and Miletus along the coast, giving us epic poems and some seriously influential philosophers. Anatolia was a melting pot of gods, art, and big ideas. Then, around the 11th century, a new group rode into town, the Turks. These were nomadic warriors from Central Asia, and they were looking for new pastures. In 1071, they faced off against the mighty Byzantine Empire at the Battle of Mens. And guess what? The Turks, led by Alpay Arslan, won a shocking victory. This battle was a game. It opened the gates of Anatolia for Turkic tribes to flood in. Over the next couple of centuries, the region transformed. The Seljuk Turks established the Sultanate of Rum, and Anatolia slowly but surely became Turkey. They built incredible mosques, schools, and caravanserais, basically fancy roadside inns blending their own culture with the local Greek, Armenian, and Persian traditions. It was a brand new cultural soup, and it was delicious. But the Seljuks' time in the spotlight was limited as their power faded. A bunch of smaller Turkish states, called beyliks, popped up. One of TC, led by a charismatic chief named Osman, started to get a little ambitious. And by a little, I mean a lot. This tiny state would grow into one of the most powerful empires in history, the Ottoman Empire. For the next few centuries, the Ottomans were on a roll. Their big moment came in 1453, when Sultan Mehmed II, aka Mehmed the Conqueror, did what everyone thought was impossible. He conquered Constantinople, the legendary capital of the Byzantine Empire. Using giant cannons and a clever strategy of dragging ships over land, he took the city and renamed it Wasyush. The Ottomans were now a world power, controlling trade routes between Europe and Asia. The empire hit its absolute peak under Suleiman the Magnificer in the 16th century. This guy was the whole package. A brilliant military strategist, a patron of the arts, and a legal reformer. The Ottoman Empire stretched from Hungary to Yemen, from Algeria to Iraq. Its artists created stunning mosques and ceramics. Its poets wrote beautiful verses, and its architects, like the legendary Mimar Sinan, designed buildings that still take your breath away. The Topkapi Palace in Istanbul wasn't just a home, it was the nerve center of a global superpower, filled with intrigue, diplomacy, and an astonishing amount of coffee. But, as we know, what goes up must eventually come down. Starting in the 17th century, the Ottoman Empire began to face some serious problems. A combination of weak sultans, corruption, military defeats, and new sea routes that bypassed their territory started to take a toll. European powers were getting stronger through industrialization, while the Ottomans struggled to keep up. They became known as the sick man of Europe. They tried to reform, like during the Tulip period when they embraced European styles. But it was a tough challenge. Worse, the spirit of nationalism was spreading. Peoples in the Balkans, like the Greeks and Serbs, wanted their own independent countries, leading to constant wars and chipping away at the empire's territory. The final nail in the coffin was World War I. The Ottomans sided with Germany, and it ended in disaster. The empire was defeated and carved up by the victorious allies. But from the ashes of this collapse, a hero emerged, Mustafa Kemal. He was a brilliant general who had famously defended the homeland at the Battle of Gallipoli. Refusing to accept the partition of his country, he rallied the Turkish people and launched the Turkish War of Independence. Against all odds, They fought off invading forces and, in 1923, declared the brand new Republic of Turkey. Mustafa Kemal, now known as Atatürk, or Father of the Turks, became its first president. The 600-year-old Ottoman Sultanate was no more. Atatürk was a man on a mission. He wanted to create a modern, secular, Western-style nation, and he wasn't messing around. He launched a series of radical reforms at lightning speed. He replaced the Arabic script with a Latin-based alphabet, making it easier for people to learn to read and write. He abolished religious courts and introduced a secular legal system based on European models. He gave women the right to vote and hold office, years before many Western countries did. He promoted science, education, and industry, fundamentally changing the face of Turkish society. His philosophy, known as Kemlis, became the founding ideology of the new republic. After Atatürk's death, Turkey began its journey toward multi-party democracy. It wasn't always a smooth ride. The post-war era saw political shifts, with figures like Adnan Menderes coming to power in the 1950s. But this period was also marked by political instability and economic troubles, leading to military coups in 1960, 1971, and 1980. The military saw itself as the guardian of Atatürk's secular legacy and would step in whenever they felt it was threatened. It was a turbulent time of political clashes and economic ups and downs. The modern era, especially since the early 2000s, has been defined by the rise of the Justice and Development Party, or AKP. Under its leadership, Turkey has seen significant economic growth and has pushed to join the European Union. However, recent years have also brought new constitutional changes and a more assertive foreign policy. Today, Turkey stands as a major regional power, a member of NATO, and a key player in global geopolitics. Its unique position, literally bridging Europe and Asia, means it's always at the center of the action. And that's the incredible journey of Turkey in a nutshell. From the ancient Hittites to the modern republic, it's a story of constant change, cultural fusion, and resilience. This land has been a cradle of civilizations, the heart of empires, and a bridge between worlds. Its history is woven into its food, its architecture, and the spirit of its people. It's a story that's still being written every single day. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this trip through time, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video.